Okay, so over the past few days I've shown you how to do some watercolor techniques. We have wet and wet, which is where you have the wet paint and then you can mix another color into it so it changes the color. This one's dry, but we did it together with the wet paint. This is the crayon resist, which is exactly what we're doing for this project today. This one is the glazing. So I painted blue and I let it dry and I went over it with green. So now I have blue-green. This one is an even wash, and today, now that it's dry, you can see that the lines have gone away because I took my paintbrush when the wet color red was on there and I just went in straight lines across so that it's a very smooth look. And then this one down here is a graduated wash. So I took the color yellow and started with the pure color on my paintbrush. Then I went into the water to get the color off, getting most of the water off on the edge of the cup as well. And then I lightened it by doing just a plain water wash, okay? You could do these with any colors. So today, we're going to go back to where we're making our leaf drawing, leaves, and I've got a placement that I'm happy with of all the different leaves, and I have outlined them with the crayon colors that are natural colors to the leaves. And if you wanted to do another color that's not a natural color, that's okay, like a black stands out really well, or some other color, but I've just chosen to go with natural colors. So I'm going to take my sort of larger paintbrush to do this large leaf, and this is the one with the easiest color because I'm just going to use brown. It was this leaf and it has a little bit of yellow in there. So notice when I go into the leaf with this color, the paint crawls away from the crayon, meaning just what it sounds like. It doesn't adhere to the crayon and it crawls away from it so that it resists it. And that's exactly what I was going for. So I'm just going to carefully go into all my crevices of my leaves like this for each leaf color that I want to do. And it's kind of fun to watch that technique of the resisting crayon. And with watercolors, they are very easy to mix when they're wet, like the wet and wet technique. And if you are wanting to create depth of color, this is the time to do it when it's in the wet stage. So I'm just going to rinse off my paintbrush and I'm going to take my smaller brush. You could use the same one. And I'm going to take yellow now because as I'm looking at my leaf, I see yellow in there. It's mainly in the middle and it doesn't go all the way out to the edges, but I'm going to increase the depth and the color by adding yellow in. And each time I want more yellow, I'm going to rinse my paintbrush because you notice when you're mixing wet and wet, it's going to pick up some of that brown. And so I don't want my yellow to get dirty in my paints. Okay, so now I've created that yellow-brown color. And guess what? If I wanted to go back over this later and intensify the color, I would use, guess what? Glazing. So I could go back later after it dries and use glazing as we talked about. Okay, so that is how you paint it. And then the last step after you get all your leaves painted and you're happy with their colors is we'll paint the background, and I'll show you that next time.